Well, the thing is, um,
And because they are going, because for the Aloha region, this is
aloha. It's aloha.
no the Aloha region.
No, it's
Which,
aloha. So I'm
no. I know, but
sorry. I'm sorry.
I know. I'm from Hawaii. I know how to say it. They say it in it, but the way the region is said. Uh,
Oh, I
hold on
see.
a minute.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but
It's Aloha. Aloha.
okay. Anyways, sorry to interrupt, but
But yeah, it's the Aloha.
okay. And as you were saying before, I interrupted.
Because the Aloha region has, after the Alola region, the series is going to get revamped, and either that or we're going to be seeing somebody pass on,
Sort
pass
of
the torch.
sort of like in the Pokemon manga, what they did for like whenever a new storyline is. But I'm pretty sure. Have you heard of the Pokemon manga? First of all, like have you actually?
I have read the manga, yes.
Yeah, so it's sort of like that, where we have with each new Pokemon generation, we're introduced to new protagonists, as in who are based off ones from the games. But they're sort of like, as you said, passing on the
Yes,
torch.
and with the manga, I never said this in my stream, but the manga, the protagonists in the manga are always portrayed as very happy-go-lucky with very such weird quirks. It's very, I don't know, in certain glances, very copy cutouts, but there are differences aside from the visual outfits.
Yeah, well,
And aside from that, I you've all heard what I've had to say on it.
right.
I've been pulled into another one, and I'm currently working on a collab script.
Yeah.
Uh, what do you expect from this franchise?
To be honest, I'm expect. I don't know. It's hard to say. First, I want the new Pokemon Go to be. I mean, I want the Pokemon Sun and Moon to be good, which is barring some rare bizarre event. It's doubtful that Moon and Sun is gonna turn out to be terrible. By
Sun and Moon. Ay, ay, ay.
like it's bare. Like I know people say, oh, it's all the same, but you know what? It's a tried and true formula. Like, and and I would say Nintendo is much more lenient with how many Pokemon games they release. I mean, like if you compare to how many Pokemon games are released to say how many times a new Call of Duty has been released, I would say there's a pretty good year gap in between. Wouldn't you agree? Wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that was interesting is I want to see happen is Pokemon Go. You see, I was kind of a bit cynical, thinking, oh hey, it's Pokemon but on the phone, and well, all you gotta do is look at the top paying apps to know that people have like the attention span of ADD. It's like they have ADHD. They can't stay focused on one app for too long. But before I knew it, like Pokemon, like I see bars advertising Pokemon Go, and I think I posted on the Facebook. But even Microsoft, like near the mall I live nearby in, the Microsoft Store is promoting Pokemon Go, and people are saying it's Pokemania all over again. I think it's more of a minor Pokemania compared to the late '90s. But would you say that Pokemon Go has more or less brought the franchise back into the mainstream?
I I pretty much say so. It's been everywhere, but for a lot of the people who grew up with the originals, a lot of people are just jumping onto a trend
Yeah,
that it started way back in the '90s, and it's pretty much started not the 1990s all over again.
that's kind of how I feel. Like there is that bitter part of me that this is a fad and eventually it'll just be left behind. But I am happy to see Pokemon Go being the top downloaded app of all time, at least for the now, compared to say stuff like Clash of Clans or Candy Crush or War Saga, which is like one thing I have to say about Pokemon Go is that it's free to play, but it's not pay to win. Like I managed to like just hoard up Pokeballs just by walking around. I have barely dropped a cent on it compared to well, you know how most mobile games are. They're just so exploitive of how much,
Indeed.
like there's, oh, hey, you want to finish this building? Pay up $999. Here it's like, okay, you can get potions, but you can't just pay to say level up your Pokemon or pay to get more candy. It's only for potions and Pokeballs. And even then, there isn't that much of an advantage if you just, walk around. And I can understand, and I guess it could work for people who say they live in the rural areas where they don't have as many Pokestops. Whereas guys like you, at least someone like me who lives near the city, there are a lot of Pokestops, so I'm pretty much overflowing with it. And that's one thing I would say about Pokemon Go is that it isn't exploitive in terms of how it's monetizing itself. And to be honest, if there was one mobile game I had to play for free, it would be Pokemon Go. Only problem is my phone drains like every 5 seconds. Like it seems like, I don't know why, but it seems like it drains a lot. I mean, even when this is just in general, but that's a whole nother thing. But when I was at I'm kind of happy that Pokemon Go is bringing up this mini revival. But my question is, how many of those people, how many of it is going to turn people into loyal customers? Like, as in people who will actually go out, presumably have to buy a new Nintendo 3DS and purchase the new Pokemon game coming out, or like it would, like you said, it would just be a fad. What do you think?
Well, this game has rather brought up a lot of good memories and a lot of the childhood. I mean, a lot of people are out, kids are being out and about, and I know a lot of the elders are complaining about it. They complained about it before it was released, and it was certainly a game that I, quite frankly, don't mind because it gets you outside. And
right,
you
but as I was saying, do you think this will turn people you think this will make people go into Pokemon, as in actually get into the main core games? Because this has always been Nintendo's strategy. It's like target the casual, target people who might have never played video games before and get them invested. I mean, for God's sake, that's how the Wii became the most common console everyone had. Remember that? How the Wii pretty much dominated the console wars. Devin, are you still there?
I'm here, but look, what goes on in this franchise, there's always some new development, there's always some form of fun. Heck, back when Pokemon Crystal, not a lot of the girls could play the games, but until that game came out, girls got into it. Then, years later, more and more people are still into it, people are having fun, there's even the option now to customize your trainer how you actually look. Yeah, and you can remove that, and you can remove the hat. A lot of this franchise has been good, it's been great, and it does have its faults.
Oh no, I know. I'm sorry if I'm going very philosophical about this, but it's sort of a thing I like to
thing that a lot of us do.
Like analyzing.
And a lot of us originals grow with it.
Right.
And yes, Team Valor, Team Mystic, Team Instinct, all those other teams. Do not forget.
I know.
Harmony.
I know. It's mostly.
Three birds shall clash. This is only to go for those who are listening to me and out there. You three teams need to learn. I know there's friendly cooperation, but do not let this rivalry get to the better of you. You remember what happened in Pokemon 2000 when the three great birds clashed? The world was about to break. The world was going.
I'm sorry. Has this turned into a let's read or something?
Oh, for fuck's sake!
I'm sorry, man. It's just I don't know.
For fuck's sake! I was just telling the writer. I'm telling them something.
The thing is, I think everyone. Sorry, Devin. I think everyone knows. I mean, at the end of the day, all this Team Valor thing, it's mostly just related to dumb Facebook memes and
It's not. For fuck's sake! I was paraphrasing Pokemon 2000.
Life can make a difference. I'm sorry.
Yes, where it ago where I was warning the three teams not to let them get so competitive, so heated, lest they get their anger, let their bitterness get the better of them, and it will feel like your whole world is going to fall apart.
Right, and some guy who's obsessed with.
I was warning people about that. I was just doing that.
I understand where you're coming from, man. But anyways, back in your stream, you mentioned how you would like to see, like in the Pokemon anime, the torch to pass on from Ash to say.
I definitely would like to see the torch.
Well,
I would like to see Ash get.
Just age just a little bit.
Either make a cameo in the new one, or just give his hat to someone else. Like, have him carry the legacy, and hopefully that becomes a passing gag throughout the
series. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen, because I think the main creator of Pokemon himself said that he wants Ash to remain young so as to still appeal to the target demographic.
Not really. They are starting to have Ash grow up, because this is the final series. This, with the Alola region for the anime, this looks like it's the final series.
Well, that's what they said about when they said about the Unova region, where they were starting anew.
I know, but a lot of it is confirmed, as you heard my friend.
Right.
A lot of this is going to get pretty dark.
Sort of like
Once
best wishes.
The Alola region comes up, this is where it ends.
Sort of like.
And possibly we could see Giovanni and Ash clash in a big round. This is where it all hangs in the balance.
I see. I don't know. A guy named Jay Witz is a good thing on this. Where he speculated what should happen to Ash, and he more or less said the same things you did. But I think the fact stands that I don't think we will see Ash either officially grow up or pass on to a new protagonist.
I personally think it's been hinted at a lot that he's not leaving until he wins this, and he is going to win it. We've seen it be corroborated 100 times. Nintendo is starting to realize that a lot of the series is going to happen. That this is what they've been building up since this came out. They've been leading up to this moment.
Well,
this is it.
I don't want to sound like I'm bursting a bubble or anything. Bubble. But that's what they've always been kind of pulling that, to be honest. For example, I think there's like this little picture going on. It shows like what Ash's position in every tournament. You know what I mean, at the end, where he always ended. I think the highest position he's ever obtained is 4th place. He's never been anywhere in the top 3 in terms of winning the tournament. And
but given what's going to happen, given the fact that the region is going to get devastated. It's not, and look at the scan that he showed in the thing.
Are you talking about the Koro scans?
Yes, those scans. Those are actual scans, by the way.
Koro.
Those are actual scans that he showed in the stream. And
Koro comics. I'm more interested in seeing about. Hold on. One of the most mysterious ones. Let me bring it up. It's basically like this. It was introduced in Pokemon X and Y, and it's like this green thing, if you know what I mean.
Yes, that's this green. Yes, this green thing is showing up, and it's going to devastate the Kalos region.
I've been waiting. I've always been perplexed by it because it is, so far as I know, it is.
Nintendo is actually starting to get the fact that this is where it happens.
And when I first heard about, that that the next Pokemon game would be expanded upon with this. Hold on, I know its name. Let me just. But I felt like, to be honest, I wasted a little bit of money because, well, I thought they were gonna when they said next Pokemon game, I thought they made like Pokemon Z or Pokemon Emerald, after Pokemon X and Y, Pokemon Alpha Sapphire and Ruby Red. But to think that they're releasing like an entire as in a whole new set, I kind of felt mixed because I don't know. I guess it's more of just being, damn it, my prediction was wrong. I feel terrible, than anything else, to be honest.
Well, look what's going on. This stuff is not happening in a movie. We would have heard about a movie a long time ago. We would have heard about this. This looks to be if he does win this. If he does win this, it's only going to be a matter of time It's only going to be a matter of time until Team Flare and Ash get into a full-on confrontation. This is going to get big.
To be honest, I don't believe so, because to me, the best Pokemon villain of quote-unquote villain was N, mostly because he sort of pointed out a common thing that is really disturbing when you think about it, that it is essentially glorified animal fighting. And he kind of points out that no matter how much you say you love your Pokemon, you're still more or less using them, like basically forcing them to fight. And I was kind of disappointed how they more or less admit he was reduced to a minor character in the anime.
Indeed.
And because N is literally, I think, the most interesting character of any character. And think about it. It would be an interesting predicament for Ash and Pikachu that N more or less might question whether or not they
story is technically done. It's technically done. And from what we've seen, Ash is going to be. This is going to get big. This is not going to be easy for him this time. Look at the amount of destruction shown in those shots. The amount of, I don't know what this thing is going to do. This thing
the thing evolves into a freaking Gundam. I could expect excuse my language, but shit is gonna go down.
Yeah.
And not only that, but it evolves.
It's introducing several concepts and stories that
Zigzagar.
Yeah, that thing. That thing is going to cause some pretty big damage.
And
they've been like I said, again, hinting at a lot of the stuff that has gone on for Ash. They set this up with Black and White. They pretty much have set this up already. Nintendo is starting to wake up.
I know, and I really want to.
And a lot of these rumors, more and more of them that keep coming out, the more they can confirm within 2-3 days. And it does, and this part looks like it does do it.
We're here's to hoping, eh?
But this looks like it. Because Ash made that vow. He wasn't going to come home until he won a league. He wasn't going to come home. You think this is going to be another cup? I mean, okay.
Well, the thing is,
there isn't going to be. I gotta admit, I wouldn't be surprised if this did turn out to be a complete cop out where, oh yeah, they retcon it. Oh, he does come home and the cycle starts all over again. Is that what you're pretty much saying? This whole thing is a cop out.
I don't know. I'm kind of used to seeing anything being hyped up only to turn out to be oh god. I mean, we've all been there where we've been hyped for something, we've been misled by a bunch of marketing only to be mildly disappointed. I mean, for God's sake, Hideo Kojima is a god at that. Anyways, under other Pokemon things, have you played
For the life of me, Ash has got to, because yeah, it's been hinted. I mean, so, and it came from the mouth of the man himself. The guy is going to let this happen. This is originally what was supposed to happen. This is just season one, which is supposed to be a one-off, and so was the movie.
But then, for one reason or another, we had to keep Ash for another season. Johto, and Ash and Brock, more or less. But from what I've read, that when it came to it, they had to choose about who else should make it into the next season. The choices were either Misty or Team Rocket, and in the end, they had to choose Team Rocket over Misty, mostly because they felt that Team Rocket were make more interesting situations that Misty would. And
this situation has gotten. It's getting serious. It's after this. After this, it's getting very, very serious.
I know Pokemon can be serious. I mean, did you see Pokemon Origins?
Yeah, Pokemon Origins.
Like,
I'm saying it for this is on Ash's side of things.
I know, but I'm just.
This is not happening in a movie. It's happening in the 8 episodes arc. It's happening in the finale. Movie level stuff like that. Look at the way the shots are shaded. That does look like it could be a movie, but we never. But those are for the TV. You never see shots like that. Not to mention, a lot of what Satoshi has said has come true once before. And it looks like it just might.
Well, I think we'll see. Anyways, moving on from Pokemon. I know you're gonna really hate it, but I've also saw a couple other things while I was at the Comic-Con. I also saw a bunch of other stuff being promoted from Nintendo. Are you familiar with Yokai Watch?
We discussed it earlier.
Right. Speaking of Ghostbusters, have you been reading what has been happening with that movie?
I have not been. Again, like I said, I have not been able to keep up with this stuff for a while now.
Well, quick recap: reboot. People are angry. Movie comes out. Mixed reviews. And we got idiocy on both sides. We got one side that is screaming that it's feminism and political correctness, and the other side we have people saying, "Oh, if you don't like this movie, you're a woman-hating pig." It's stupidity, both sides. And if anything, both sides kind of turned me off from watching the movie itself. And I don't know, I kind of feel like it's an epitome of modern day society where people just gotta find a meaning to everything. You know what I mean? So I guess that's the problem with social media. And yes.
All right. I think we talked about this for a while now.
Just for now, have you played Mystery Dungeon?
I played the Mystery Dungeon series. That was good. That was fun. I loved Pokemon Ranger. Shadows of Almia is my preferred speed.
I've played the latest. I wouldn't say the latest. It was released about a year ago. Basically, it's pretty dark, at least for an E-rated for an E-rated game, and basically it deals with this thing. I'm trying to remember. It deals with a idea that there's a great apocalypse coming again, and basically.
Yeah, I remember from the Mystery Dungeon series, they always replayed that storyline.
I know, but it seems like the term is. I think the term is max escalation, or there's a scientific term for this. Doubling down. Basically, they have to up the ante. I mean, the whole thing starts off because a mystery Pokemon gets turned into.
Every time the situation escalates, yeah.
Because the whole mystery the main plot gets going after a bunch of random filler. I would if it was an anime, which they pretty much are structured in that. I don't want to sound racist, but in that Japanese like storytelling. I'm not racist for saying that. I'm just saying it's like that. Like you notice a pattern where it's like everything is calm and nice and very, very upbeat. Then it's more or less if it was a show, they would be filler, like just.
Yeah. We get what you mean.
Right. Right, and the whole mystery kicks off because a legendary Pokemon gets turned to stone, and it basically, when they're turned to stone, they get sent to Pokemon Hell, basically. Like, they call it the World of Darkness, but it is basically hell. And they're all curious because these include Rayquaza, Latios, and Latias, like all the big major legendaries, and they're wondering, like already is like they're showing, well, it's like, hey, it's like they're already making it clear that there is no legendary that can stop that. This is literally down to you. And should I spoil the whole storyline or?
Okay, no.
Okay, no spoilers. Okay, basically,
what this is the Mystery Dungeon franchise. Yeah, the other bits of franchise have gotten dark, and that's why you can get away with games, but you can only push it so much.
Right. And by the way, when we mean dark, we don't mean like people start bleeding or anything. We mean thematic.
It does get rather heavy
for a E-rated game.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It gets heavy.
I know. I'm just addressing the audience of like one guy.
Now, the big point of all this is that our differences aside, I will admit it is good to see. It is good to see storylines like that.
Yeah.
And especially even when it comes even to the anime, these storylines are gonna get there.
Right. Should I spoil? Should I do spoilers for the latest Mystery Dungeon games or?
No.
Okay, no spoilers. All right. Well.
Oh, I just said that. You asked me that.
I'm sorry, but I don't know. I just want to make sure for like the one guy in the audience who like I don't know sends me death threats for ruining Mystery Dungeon for him.
Mm-hmm.
But
at this point now,
Super Mystery Dungeon, that's the name.
Okay, even the movies are usually reserved for a lot of the serious stuff, but
and for promoting new Pokemon.
Yeah, that's kind of the point.
Oh yeah, and remember when they promoted? Remember when
in the original movies, or even Lucario and the Mystery of Mew, were
fucking Lucario.
Lucario, the lesson from that movie.
I get
the lesson from that is to forgive, not only to forgive what others have done to you, but to ultimately forgive yourself.
I think that's a lesson the internet forgets a lot of times.
Indeed. And that's the lesson that movie is, despite the fact that it does promote Diamond and Pearl. Yeah, I will admit that.
I mean, it is a merchandise-driven franchise, but a lot of good stories have come out of the sort of driven to sell merchandise. I mean, for God's sake, people hold the Transformers series, the original 80s one, as being, having good storytelling, even though...
Actually, a friend of mine has just noted me out that what you said about the hype that Ash might be going home, might be going to a new region, might be going on forever.
Yeah.
However, Nintendo has acknowledged, as well as Game Freak, has acknowledged that if they did something like that, would be a really bad move. That would be a really bad move. Not to mention the end result would get them a lot of flack.
Yeah.
For that. A lot of flack. So what you're saying, yeah, it could happen, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, I think companies like Nintendo are known for getting lots of flack from basically pissing everyone off. I mean, all you gotta do is look at the latest Star Fox game, and I think they're just used to it by this point. As I think any major media company would. That I'm not trying to say they're trying to say, well, if you don't like our version of the story, what the hell is wrong with you? It's more of a case of, yeah, we know you didn't like it, but look, I'm sorry, that's just the vision we had in mind. I mean,
Step.
but they'll never get as angry as. Oh, that's probably an old joke by now.
But yeah,
I was gonna make a Mass Effect joke.
But at this point, they've done bad moves before, and that was before they were. And that was when they were back in the pre-planning stages. They often, but at this point, we're in the implementation stages now. They're too far gone to take a step back. They can't do that now.
We'll see. I mean,
because we're not going to be seeing. Because I definitely have a gut feeling that we're not going to be seeing. We might not be seeing Ash for a long time. We might be seeing a new protagonist take.
Okay, I take back what I said. I'll see it. I can see it happening as like an experiment. I guess it depends on how well that experiment might do. If it does well, they might just continue on with that. But if it doesn't, they would just have to bring Ash back. It's sort of like how Dragon Ball Z, they like introduce a new protagonist only to bring back Goku because no one either they don't feel confident that the new protagonist is going to be popular enough, or Goku is just that iconic. You know what I mean? Hello? Dev?
Hold on, I'm explaining to a friend of mine.
Well, Devin.
Yeah, like I said, this is a lot of what we're used to. And I'm sorry I'm refighting the same fight, but he's seen my points and he's seen this point of view. So for now, we're wrapping up, and I'm really tired. I got a script to work, and he pulled me into this call as I was working. So I am.
You're my slave.
I'm trying my best to remain civil, and I have several analysts who can probably teach you proper etiquette on how to do a collab properly.
I'm like the Howard Stern of.
You're not. No.
I want to. Everything is improvised. Everything is improvised.
You're not doing this to me again. I'm being serious here. You cannot pull me into something like this just when I just got done with the collab.
Hey man, don't get angry at me. I'm literally fucking.
You said you would die with me when I said not now. Anyway, so now.
Look. I know you hate me, and.
No. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm just saying. Couldn't you have a little? I just said. Couldn't you said done it? We could have done this at a different date.
The thing is, my life is so hamstring to everyone else's, aka my family, that I don't know when that time might be.
All right, and so.
And that's why I always tell you, at least alert me somehow, like either Facebook, Skype, and you never do.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've been rather busy. Anyway, so right now we're just wrapping up. I'm sorry you had to hear that little fight back there, but hey, this is Lights We Don't Like to Refuse, and I sort of hope you enjoyed the ride.
I'm Alexander Lieris telling you all, I don't know, to always make sure to take care of your waifu. I don't know. God of War.
Anyway.
Make sure to take care of God of War. I'm sure they'll put in the new Pokemon Go, you weirdos.
All right, then.
Right. So that was Lightspeed. Don't worry. I'll make sure to abduct him at his house next time. He did not hear that.
I heard that.
No, it's nothing. Look, it's nothing. All right. It's not like I got a Pokeball made for humans on me right now.
All right. Let's just put the call away. Let's just end the thing here and then just go.
Okay. Bye. Well, that was something. Anyways, and now it's time for me to talk behind his back. I'll be honest. I don't think what Devin's saying is 100% correct. I think it's a kind of a BS thing, but like I said earlier, I think they might do this, but only introduce a new protagonist only as an experiment, only as a testing the waters per se for seeing if either it's both young, old, Japanese, American audience is going to react well to this, or if it will continue holding up the ratings. I don't know, guys. And by guys, I mean like the one neckbeard in the audience. I don't know. But I don't know. I think it might turn out well. Because I think Jay Witt said this best. I would like to see Ash kind of grow up. Well, not grow up, or at least a similar protagonist who's similar to an audience like mine. So we can be more connected and don't feel like we're like the old guys, like, I don't get these young kids here. I don't know what I said. But I'll be honest, I don't think Nintendo might have the guts, but I think it'll come down to see if the first episode aired and there's a rating, and to see if it does well in the ratings. If it does well in the ratings, then hey, this might continue, or they just might pull a Dragon Ball Z and just reveal, oh hey, Ash is actually the protagonist. Don't you like us? See, we didn't really get rid of him. Well, not they would not kill Ash, is what I'm trying to say. They would not kill him because this is a freaking kids franchise. This is a family franchise. They would never like, you've been terminated. You have been terminated. Ash, get him. It's more like, oh, I'm completed my quest. I'm gonna go back home. But if it does bad, it's like, turns out, Ash still. They go. Here's my theory. If it doesn't do well with the new protagonist, new episode opens, it cuts to Ash, and he has this, like, they won't call it depression, but it's like this lack of fulfillment, like that. The only time he ever felt like he was alive, that he was achieving something, was when he was catching Pokemon, when he was training them, collecting new ones, and fighting in the tournaments. And it just so happens that the new protagonist, let's just call him Jeff, challenges Ash to a Pokemon fight. There, Ash discovers, hey, this is actually pretty good. And then, for some BS reason, Jeff has to stay at home looking after Ash's mother, while Ash goes back on his adventure, and we're back to the same old routine. Don't take my word on it, but I'm kind of, unlike some people, I am sort of dabbed a little bit in what general marketing wisdom says. And by marketing wisdom, I mean literally spending about 5 hours on TV tropes. All right. I'll be taking a quick break, and when we get back, I will read a really, really bird creepy poster. In fact, I'm like just stop this broadcast and make a new one for the bird creepy poster. I was thinking of doing it a video, but I'm lazy.